president, by the way, speaking of the president, he says he is not abandoning Israel. As he was leaving for Baltimore earlier today, President Biden asked about his demands to the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to do more to get aid into Gaza and to safeguard civilians.
Did you threaten to stop military aid to Israel?
I asked them to do what they're doing.
I asked them to do what they're doing, he said. But the commander-in-chief is also facing questions about the pressure that he is forcing upon Israel, as he is calling for a quote-unquote immediate ceasefire. Come on in, Morgan Ortagus. Hello, hello, friend of the show, former State Department spokesperson and in the Trump administration, founder of Polaris National Security. Nice to see you as always, Morgan. The immediate ceasefire that President Biden called for yesterday. When you heard that, you thought what?
I thought silly because Hamas is going to reject the immediate ceasefire, and they did. Hamas has no interest in a ceasefire right now. They want to keep, listen, most of these hostages, and by the way, what was missing from the president's statement and from Blinken's statement and from Kirby and the rest of them, what was missing is any sort of plan for how to get the 5 Americans who are still being held hostage by a terrorist organization home. We never hear them talk about it.
So Morgan, hold that thought for a
second.
Hold that thought for a second, because
Sure.
the statement you referred to is the readout, which you are intimately familiar how those sort of get put together. And here's what the readout said. It said of the president, he urged the prime minister to empower his negotiators to conclude a deal without delay to bring the hostages home. He put the onus, Morgan, on Israel, not on Hamas, at least according to that readout.
Yeah. Yes, and thank you. And the readouts, by the way, as I told our audience, are typically done ahead of time before the meetings and then signed off afterwards, but that's fine. We can get into that another day. The point is, how do we get the first 2 exchange of hostages, the first 2 temporary ceasefires? They only happened whenever Israel was putting so much military pressure on Hamas that Hamas felt the pain. Listen, Hamas they do not feel pressure right now. All of the public statements and rhetorics are targeted at the state of Israel. You know, their red lines are drawn for Israel, harsh condemnations are drawn from Israel, and especially because of the aid workers, you know, killed this week in that obviously that terrible strike. But Israel is also held to a higher standard than we even hold ourselves. Israel came out this week and said, here's what happened. We're investigating. This was a wrong strike. Oh, by the way, they relieved 2 military commanders today and other people were disciplined. We never did that over the strike in Afghanistan that we hastily did after 13 Americans were killed. We killed 10 people, including 7 children. And the DOD ran out, the Pentagon ran out and called it a righteous strike. They didn't even let the smoke clear to realize that they had accidentally killed 7 kids and a whole family and a guy with water jugs just trying to get water home to his family. And so we are holding Israel to a standard that we don't even keep for ourselves. And that's what's the problem with all this. So I want to get
that's the case?
Because it's all political, because he doesn't want to lose Michigan and Minnesota. I mean, there's no other reason why you would take a principled stance and be with the state of Israel, which, by the way, Sunday is 6 months after October 7th, the worst killing of Jews in any day since the Holocaust. You wouldn't take that stance and then completely reverse course unless you're just trying to win an election. I mean, I'm pretty cynical, and I don't always think that everything's actually crass politics. This is.
Senator Tim Kaine, writing, quote, I renew my request that the Biden administration prioritize the transfer of defensive weapons in all arms sales to Israel while withholding bombs and other offensive weapons that can kill and wound civilians and humanitarian aid workers. What do you make of that position from the former vice presidential candidate from within the Democratic Party?
Yeah. I think it is a problem for the state of Israel in the sense that if you are an ally, a friend of the United States, you don't want to be friends with only one political party. We're still seeing Republicans and many independents are still very supportive of the state of Israel, but that there's, you know, constant protest, you know, constant drumbeat from the far left against Israel, which, by the way, I would remind everybody, is the only democracy, the only ally that's a democracy in the Middle East. And so I think that drumbeat from the far left is taking a toll on their party. And I don't say this, I don't think that's a good thing for Israel. I want Israel to have broad support, not just from the Republican Party, but from independents and from Democrats as well. And so I do think it is a political reality that Biden and Israel are going to have to deal with, because you do have to have a relationship with both sides. But I think it's bad policy to pressure the state of Israel. We got the Abraham Accords because we took on Iran and we took on ISIS and the terrorist organizations in the Middle East. We took out Soleimani. You're not going to get peace for Israel by pressuring Israel and not the terrorist group.
Thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.